Hi friends, welcome back to Fitness of Gamers and Streamers. Still Chris here, thank you for joining me once again. And today I want to talk about counting calories. Should you count calories? Why would you want to count calories? Do you have to? Should you not? Blah blah blah. So this is quite a hotly contested topic in fitness. People are either really avid calorie counters or people tell you don't worry about calories at all, they don't matter. So I want to just clarify my position on this and what I think you should do. So I think you should be able to count calories and track your macros. But I don't think you need to count your calories all the time unless you're going for a specific, very specialist goal. So counting calories means keeping a track each day of how many calories you consume, and it's usually along with your macronutrients. The macronutrients being protein, carbohydrates, and fats. So the idea is, if you track your calories every day, you know exactly what you're taking in, you know all the data, and you can then see if you're moving towards your goals and adjust accordingly. This is great, I understand that makes a lot of sense, but for some people this will really stress them out and it's too much information. And if you've got issues around your body weight or your self-image, your body image previously, counting calories can make it a necessary additional stress. It can also make it harder for you to actually count your food. If you have some sort of resistance, if you know you have to weigh things every time, you have to look things up all the time, that can just put you off and say, why should I bother, this is too complicated for me. So if you find yourself in that camp, there's another way to approach it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I do believe that everyone should be able to count their calories, and if they're going for a very specific goal or a very low body weight or a specific target, they should be counting calories for that in specific situations, but not necessarily in general. So confession, I don't count my calories every day, but I do know roughly how many I take in just because I'm used to it. I can estimate my calories based on how much protein I take, how much carbohydrates, fats, and foods. I know roughly what's going on, and I can also adjust my body weight. So, generally you want to know your calories so you can see if you're in a surplus or a deficit or at maintenance, okay? So maintenance calories means you're not gaining or losing weight. A surplus means you're taking in more calories than you're burning, so you'll be gaining weight. If you're strength training, hopefully that's muscle. Or if it's too much, it will be fat and muscle. And if you're in a deficit, it means you're consuming fewer calories than your body needs to keep the body weight, so you'll be losing weight. If you're strength training, that'll mostly be fat. If you're in a very severe deficit and you're not strength training, it's likely to be muscle as well, lean tissue, so you don't want that. So if you count your calories, you should know precisely how many you take in. That way you can adjust accordingly, have a small surplus to gain weight and muscle, a small surplus to lose weight and fat. There is a caveat I'll add, because all calories are estimated to an extent. So if you're underreported on, say, the packaging, there can be mistakes. So even if you count your calories down to every single calorie, it's still an estimate and there will be some error within there. That doesn't mean you shouldn't bother at all, but you need to be aware of this. There will always be some level of error. It will not be precise. So if that bothers you, don't bother with it at all. But I do think you should have an idea of how many calories you take in, and you learn that by tracking for a while, maybe over a week or two, just so you understand what's in foods, and you can then estimate from there. So for almost all my clients, I work out their calories for them, but I don't give them a calorie goal necessary to hit each day. This is because I like to give them food options and ways to reach those calorie goals without having to stress about it, adding additional work to their day. So if once you know what's in how many calories and protein, for example, in a few hundred grams of chicken breast, you don't have to then measure it again. You'll know what's in it, roughly what you're eating. So you know if you eat 2 of those, you'll have X number of protein, X number of calories. That I think is much more flexible, and it gives you more options when you're going out to eat, and it builds in some leeway. For example, I talk about the error and the miscalculations in calories. If you go out for a restaurant meal, whilst lots of mainstream places do have the calories on the menu now, that is an estimate, and a lot of higher end places will not have the calories on the menu. So that can cause a lot of stress if you don't know what to eat. But if you know roughly what calories you're in, you can plan for that accordingly, and it won't add additional stress to your day. So in general, I think you should know about your calories, you should know roughly what you're aiming for, you should know how to hit them, but I don't think you need to be counting them every single day, unless you're going for a period in which you're not gaining or losing weight you think you should be, in which case you've got your maintenance calories wrong or you're guesstimating it wrong, in which case it's always better to get the data and understand what's really going on, which means counting for a while and knowing really what's going on. So if you need more information, get more information. If it stresses you out, leave that to your coach and they can work it out for you, okay? So to conclude, I think you should be able to count your calories, but you don't need to do it all the time. Most of my clients, I work out calories for them. I always work out their calories, so calories are important, but they're not the be-all end-all, and they're ways of dealing with counting them without increasing additional stress or time. So that's all for today. If you're a calorie counter, that's great, let me know. If you'd rather not count calories at all, think they matter, also let me know. But that's all for today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.